I want to go to Israel and film it in front of the garden tomb. And then I almost started crying because I wanted to go to Israel all my life, and I never knew how I'd ever get there. And I thought, man, what an amazing thing to get to go to Israel and do a song about salvation in front of the garden tomb. Well, we flew over there in June, and just to tell you how the Lord was faithful with the weather there. We get there, like, I think the day before I got there was like 106. And I'm thinking, I get off the airplane, it's just like, oh, because y'all know how I sweat on the videos. It's awful. And I start thinking, oh, man, I'm sweating. I'm like, oh. And so, it seems trivial, but I'm like, Lord, please, it's got to cool off a little bit, what we can do. And you guys, we got there the next morning when we started shooting, it was 70 degrees. And it was 70 degrees every single day, all day long that week. And the day that we got ready to leave, it was 100 and something again. So he was so faithful even in that. And I remember going to the garden tomb. Lynn had been able to get us in at 7 o'clock in the morning and open it up at 9 for the tourists. So we had 7 to 9 all by ourselves. And I remember standing in front of that garden tomb and telling the kids on the video, that other than the day the Lord saved me, this is the greatest moment of my life. To stand here and tell you about what Jesus did for us. And he probably walked right across here. And so it was an amazing day, amazing week of shooting and seeing all these different places, and just your spirit just registers with you. And if you've been there, you just know it changes you. It truly changes your life to go there and experience it. There are a lot of really sweet moments in it, but I guess I want to share the one with you that meant the most to me. When I was a little boy, I was in Bible memory class, and I was memorizing all these scriptures. And I remember one day, I found this book. I found the book of Habakkuk. And I thought, I wonder what's in Habakkuk. It's such a good book. And I remember looking through it. And in chapter 2, verses 1, 2, and 3, my paraphrase of those verses say, record the vision in your heart and hold it there. For though it may tarry, it will surely come. And when I was about 9 years old, I knew that the Lord had made me to do music. And I loved to play and sing. And I was trying to write songs even then. But I got made fun of a lot for that. I was overweight, I had bad hair, I had ugly glasses, I had a lisp. I talked like this, I didn't know how not to talk like this. And I played the tuba in the band, and I got called sissy a lot, and slaughterhouses for pigs, and it was just, I don't tell you that to make you feel sorry for me, but it was just a really hard time. But I remember finding that verse, and the Lord saying to me in that moment, don't worry. Because there's other things, I've got big plans for you. It's that whole, Jeremiah 29:11. I have plans for you don't know anything about. So you just hold on and you keep pressing into me. And all through my life, that's been one of my most favorite verses. And I've always shared that. Almost every time I lead worship for a group of kids, I've shared that verse for 22 years. Well, the last day that we were in Jerusalem, we went to the Shrine of the Book. And it's a place that houses a lot of the pieces of the Dead Sea Scrolls. So we go in, and there are all these glass cases around this one room, and there are a lot of pieces of Isaiah there, there are some pieces of 2 Chronicles, and so I'm just walking by myself, looking around, and all of a sudden I walk up to this one case that says Habakkuk 2, 1 through 2. And my heart just stopped. You're so sweet. And at that moment, it was like it all came back to him and how he loves us and how intimately he knows us. And I could hear him singing, from the time I gave you this scripture to this day, when you feel like you've done one of the most important, greatest things you could do in your life, I'm reminding you of the word I gave you when you were a little boy. And so I walked outside and I shared that with Lynn. And I was, I'm already crying. And she said, what's even more powerful about that, Jeff, is that because this is Israel's 60th anniversary of becoming a nation. And to celebrate that, they opened up that part of the shrine, but it's not normally open up to the public. And it's only open this year. And January 1st, they closed it back. And probably no one in our generation would get to go in there again and see it. So that was the only year that I could have gone and seen that. And so, I just share that story with you to tell you, our Lord loves us all so much. He knows how many hairs are on our head. And when we were talking about this last week, and we were looking at the video some before we did the conference. The Lord prompted my heart to tell you also to remember to pray for Israel. Because we are part of Israel. And no weapon formed against Israel will prosper. And we need to remember to lift them up. They are our brothers and our sisters. And I pray that as you watch this video, that you'll be reminded of how much the Lord loves you. As you see the places where He walked. There's one shot of steps that go up to Caiaphas' palace, and they know that Jesus walked up those steps. But let it come back full circle for you tonight as you see the place where He walked, and where He lived, and where He loved, and where He died, and where He rose again for us. And the song's called Because.